Dr. Howard Cohn, how are you, brother?
I'm doing great, Dr. Casey. So good to be with you today.
It's good to see your face. It's been a while since we've done one of these, and I know you have so many plates in the air at any given moment in time, from your practice to your summit and all of the other different projects you're working on. So anytime I can have you for just a few minutes here, I appreciate it. So thanks for taking the time.
Oh, my pleasure. I've enjoyed watching the different shows you've been doing and all the cool guests, and excited about what you're doing with the Pride Health Institute in Arizona as well. So obviously anyone watching this, if you're anywhere near Arizona, Dr. Pride.
Appreciate that, man. Well, a lot of people watching probably know who you are because of just your presence in our profession for as long as you've been here. But I do want to give you an introduction for those who may not know you. But Dr. Howard Cohn is the CEO and founder of the Cohn Health Institute in Costa Mesa, California. At the Cohn Health Institute, he's treated over 50,000 patients, trained more than 50 associate doctors. I'm one of those doctors. Taught over 1,500 health education classes, and they're still expanding the office. You actually just moved into the space next to you because you're continuing to grow, which is very exciting. During his time with the Cohn Health Institute, he's created and built his own global nutritional supplement company. Dr. Cohn received his Doctor of Chiropractic degree in '89 from the Los Angeles College of Chiropractic. His postgraduate work is extensive, and he spent nearly a decade as a board member of the International College of Applied Kinesiology. He's actually producing a documentary about applied kinesiology. He's also served as an ambassador for the technique quantum neurology. Dr. Cohn believes the body was designed to heal itself as long as it's given the correct basic building blocks in order to do so, and is allowed to function free of interference. But most recently, and the thing I'm excited to talk to you about, Dr. Cohn, is you've launched Dr. Cohn's Biostacking Summit. That's a free virtual event that's going to be streaming worldwide. It takes place from April 21st to the 28th, where you and guest doctors and wellness experts of all kinds are going to be bringing you biostacking technologies and strategies to unlock peak performance and vitality. So pretty awesome stuff. Appreciate you being here, man.
Wow, it's a lot. Thanks.
That is a lot. And I hope people kind of hear that and understand why you're definitely qualified to be speaking to what you're going to speak to today. But I would love for you to, first of all, just share your background a little bit. I mean, people see the Cohn Health Institute, 50,000 patients, 50 associate doctors. But at one point, you were Dr. Cohn, the new graduate with a diploma in your hand with 0 patients. How did you go from that to this where you are right now?
Passion and hustle, baby. That's what it is. It's really just getting out of school with certainty, which even though I went to LACC, I can't say it came from that school. Like anything else, they provided me with an education and a degree, but really going from good to great really it's based on what we do outside of school when everyone else is sleeping, or just hoping and praying that whatever happens is what's going to happen for them. And so in this world, it's really differentiate or die. And if you want to get noticed, and in the sea of people and their understanding, lack of understanding, misunderstanding about chiropractic, it's really important to be able to show them the beauty and the amazement of chiropractic and all the things that have grown and become out of chiropractic that people are just awakening to today that we may have been doing for decades. And so I do believe that there are, in our profession, which is your profession as well, that I don't care what somebody has going on with their health, there is a chiropractor somewhere that can fix them, because you can go to 100 different chiropractors, as you know, and get 100 different things done. And that's really what the Biostacking Summit is all about, is really showing and showcasing just the tip of the iceberg of some of the doctors that I've known and colleagues that I've worked with that are getting next level results because they didn't stop with learning one technique. They didn't stop with getting familiar with one nutrition company. They didn't stop with just one kind of niche of care, but they constantly stayed green, as we say. And when you're green, you grow, you ripe, you rot, right? So it's really about staying in a learning mode, because it's an never-ending learning / humbling experience to be in practice with humans in this day and age.
Yeah, and one thing I love about this idea of biostacking, I think it's great that you as a chiropractor are the one doing it, because you and I and chiropractors, we look at health and wellness and the human body through a completely different lens than medicine does. Some people think it's this is natural, this is drug, but really we look at how the body heals completely different. And I know you look at it like I do, where we approach every person who comes into our office with this very strong understanding that your body is designed to heal itself. And the reason why chiropractic works, a lot of these technologies you're talking about work, is because the body's really brilliant. And all we're simply doing is facilitating what's already there inside of people. I would just love for you to speak a little bit on that, just the brilliance of the body, and just how does this stuff kind of facilitate and support that?
Well, as chiropractors, we've been at it, not only me, but chiropractors have been at it for 130 years, right? 1895, if I got my math close to right, is when D.D. Palmer got in front of Harvey Lillard, who was deaf, and apparently adjusted him and gave what he called a, with hand adjustment. It's arguable about where on the spine that happened, but we know it happened. And then Harvey went from being deaf, like not able to hear, for being deaf for 17 years, to saying those famous lines, I could hear the streetcars. And then chiropractic was born. And a lot of people, unfortunately, have got the pigeonholed version of chiropractic, or back pain, neck pain, and all that kind of stuff, not understanding that has nothing to do with chiropractic. That's an affect, that's the light bulb. We're working on the circuit breakers. So it's really all about freeing up this flow that you talk about, so the body can take over and heal itself the way it was designed. And it is really that simple. Now, in the evolution of chiropractic, there's been two camps. There are the straights and the mixers, as they say. The straights are the people that understand, get the philosophy, but want to protect it. And because them wanting to protect it and keep it pure, they are throw the baby out with bathwater. They're down on what they're not up on. They're not allowing other techniques and things to enter into this pure with hand only technique. But like anything in life, it evolves. Humans evolve, our challenges evolve, all these different things evolve. So along the way, different people had started doing other techniques. They started doing other equipment. And then there became these two camps, and people are arguing about, well, you're colluding this pure art because you're doing these other things. If you go to, it's like the policeman wearing the fireman uniform. We don't know what's going on here, right? It's confusing. Are you doing chiropractic? We're in a chiropractic office and you're doing PT. What's going on here? So it became the infighting and confusion kind of muddied the waters a bit. However, if we take an aerial view and we look at what are these guys saying that's true and right, and what are these guys saying that's true and right, rather than focusing on what they don't like about each other, we realize that these guys over here, the purists, the straight chiros, want to make sure that the foundation of chiropractic is pure and protected. And so they don't want to mix in other things. And then these other people realize that here we are 130 years later, when chiropractic was discovered, there was no pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. There wasn't digital onslaughts and EMF. There wasn't all these different GMOs. There wasn't things being dropped on us from the sky. There wasn't all these different man-made different things that were wrecking us physically, nutritionally, and emotionally that we have to deal with today, where before a simple adjustment was able to free up the nervous system and it could reorganize and heal itself. And now there's just so many insults, and there's ways that you can bring in other things without losing it. And that's where biostacking was born. So if you stack things on top of each other and your foundation is garbage, it's going to crash. It's not going to be supported, and there's nothing there to grow on. And so, as you know, because you've been in this clinic before, we have started this foundation on chiropractic with chiropractic, and then it has not been colluded. So when someone comes here, they're getting chiropractic here. They're not getting this other stuff. Now, it may take different forms. Like when people see you, Dr. Casey, they might get an adjustment that's a very light touch. They might get an analysis where you're feeling something different in their base of their occiput. They might get a treatment with an arthrostim instrument, which is still an adjustment, which is an evolution of what has been done 130 years ago. But if you have no foundation and you've never learned the principle of chiropractic, like most chiropractic schools are pumping out people like without a compass, so they're just sailing around, and most people wonder why 50% of them don't make it in practice. The reason they don't is because they have no purpose, vision, and certainty about what they're doing. And as long as you have that certainty and you know the big idea, as we say, about chiropractic, which we've discussed, that That's your foundation. That's your bedrock. That is bedrock. That is bedrock that goes millions of miles deep. You cannot shake it. You cannot rock it. You cannot kill it, even though powers have even tried to kill chiropractic for a long time. And yet here we are still the largest drugless healing art in the world. Now, that being said, what we've done is we've stacked other things on top of what? That foundation. So to what we call accessorize the experience and to have people get from point A to point B better and faster, in my humble opinion. So if you're a young lady and you're, I'm not offending anybody one way or the other these days, but let's say you go by a dress shop and you see this beautiful dress, and let's call that chiropractic, right? But okay, you have this beautiful dress and you try it on. Oh my God, it fits perfect. It's got all my curves the way I want it. And then you know what? Might be nice to have really awesome, cool matching shoes. Well, no, that's not the dress. You got to keep it just the dress. That's how ridiculous it would be to not to add something. But if you have a garbage dress, but you have beautiful shoes, that's not going to work either. So we have the dress, we have the shoes. Hey, maybe I want a scarf. Maybe I want a hat. Maybe I want jewelry. Maybe these are all things that make the experience of how I'm presenting to the world better. And I don't know if that's a one-for-one exact analogy, but I think we could all get about, relate to it. The songs like for the guys, a pair of jeans that fit just right? Chicken fried, so maybe you can relate to that. So, you just, and then whatever, just, it's the same kind of thing. If I got the right shoes and I got the right look and I'm wearing the cool glasses, each thing makes the experience better. And maybe you should brush your hair. That's another experience. So those are stacking the experience. And that's really a two-dimensional comparison. But what we've done in Biostacking, so you take the foundation of chiropractic and you take the wisdom of the analysis of applied kinesiology, and you take that George Goodhart brought us, and then you take quantum neurology, thanks to our buddy, Dr. George Gonzalez, who has really brought neurologic rehabilitation to life, using instruments, lasers, other things, but still all these things founded in with the foundation of chiropractic, neurology, and the nervous system. And then you take all the different plethora of nutritional analysis techniques. So you're not guessing on what I need to do with my diet or what I need to take. Things like CRA and NRT, all these different nutritional analysis techniques. And then you take the things that we love, like NET, neuroemotional technique, that Dr. Scott Walker put together as well. That is phenomenal, and it's changed all our lives, and it's looking at the emotional effect. And D.D. Palmer, all the way back 1895, back in the day, talked about 3 causes of subluxation, which led to dysfunction in the body, which is trauma, toxicity, autosuggestion. Applied kinesiology, same thing: structure, chemical, emotional. Every technique that takes an aerial or global view of the human body has to look at the physical, you have to look at the biochemical, and they have to look at the mental, emotional, or you're going to miss it.
I love that. And that the actual next question I was going to ask you is, what is biostacking? I think you answered that well. And I think you're probably one of the best qualified people to actually be addressing that, given what your clinic is. 50,000 patients, 50 doctors. You've gotten to see not all at once, but you've been doing this for over 30 years. How many years is it now? 30, probably 30, 35 years now.
Yeah.
So you've had a lot of doctors come through. You've gotten to see the techniques that are most effective. You've gotten to see the products that are most effective, having carried thousands of different supplements. You've gotten to see the different technologies that are most effective. And you're kind of bringing all these together for basically one big virtual event where you're going to basically make this information available to the world. What kind of experts are you bringing in? Who are some names that people can look forward to on that?
So, when people come to our health center, the Cohn Health Institute, we tell them that they're going to get better whether they like it or not. What I mean by that is that if I can't help them, one of my doctors in our clinic or practitioners can help them. If they can't help them, we always tell them we're spidered out in 100+ clinics around the world that do things even wilder and weirder than us. And so you're in the right place. This is the launch pad. Most people, we can handle their stuff. And sometimes we need boots on the ground in different cities, because now people get consultations remotely and they do all these different things from all around the globe. And obviously we're on the runway of the John Wayne Airport in Orange County, so people fly in all the time. So we say these people that I've been talking about forever and referring people to, I mean, there's so many. I thought, hey, you know what? Why don't we just all get together and have a party and call it the Biostacking Summit? Really, that's what it is. It's a fun time of me, just like we're doing with you now, talking to my friends and colleagues like we would when we're trying to figure out what's going on with this one patient. And then we troubleshoot it. So I'm asking them some very specific questions, trying to make it different than what you see on their YouTubes, their podcasts. All these people have massive social media followings. They're very out there in the public eye. So that was a criteria in putting this together. So some recognizable faces. But I wanted to be more candid with them, get them to talk about things they didn't usually talk about. And then for those who have VIP access to the summit, which they can learn about through you, that they get to see bonus interviews where I'm asking them things that no one ever has asked them before. So you get inside information from these brilliant minds. So like you, when you were practicing here for a short stint, between all the cool things that you're doing in your life, Dr. Charlie Fagenholz, a lot of people know him from Dr. Charlie. They're like, I follow Dr. Charlie. And so Dr. Charlie was with us for 7 years at the Cohn Health Institute. Now he's in Tennessee, but he's really all over the world. And Dr. Charlie's sharing his brilliance, his in the trenches membership that he has, that a lot of people are able to get access to the inside of what we're doing here. Dr. Noah Leibowitz is one of our presenters. He is the son of the founder and part owner and founder of Supreme Nutrition. I think a lot of people have taken a nutritional herb from this company. Their products are at a level different than anybody else's. Let's just say that. We can talk about the rest of the time about that. He is on it sharing nuances of things about common foods that people have in their diet they think are helping them that might not be. And so it's super cool the way he's doing it and showing it. Dr. Chris Motley, who is also a colleague of Dr. Charlie's, a huge following, East meets West. He's doing the best of Asian medicine and holistic medicine, and his take on that and how he's been able to bring it to the world and help hundreds of thousands of people. Dr. Jess, our ceremonial MD on the summit, she's phenomenal. Anyone who follows Dr. Jess MD, she is super fun, super animated. She is the OG of like doing stuff online and getting virtual for people. So, realizing really early on it with a brick and mortar office, you can only see so many people in a day. But, everybody wanted a piece of Dr. Jess. So now she's this virtual phenom, and she's super fun. And we had a lot of fun doing that interview with her. Dr. Patrick Porter, he's a PhD. He is the founder of BrainTap, the NeuroCheck. He is worldwide. He is like solving problems in India. He is like, bettering 1 billion brains is his like mission. And with the technology he's done and his background is like nobody else's. I mean, the pedigree of thought and mind and just what he's done for chiropractic, not being a chiropractor, is tremendous. So we have Dr. Calvin from the Cohn Health Institute, who's actively here, who's also Instagram phenom. He's been doing a lot of stuff. We have Dr. Katinka Vandermeer, who is the founder of the Spiro Clinic, best-selling author. The Spiro Clinic, people come from around the world with the worst of the worst of the worst chronic pain conditions. And she and her staff of 50. She has an active staff of 50 people that are handling this in Arkansas. People that are come over from all over the place. Dr. Vivian Malnikoff of the Palma Care Clinics. Her and her husband have 24 clinics. So they're definitely having an impact in our world. And she has niched and she has talked about how she treats athletes. She's, you look at her like this little petite Asian girl that's just crushing these 300-pound linebackers from the Bills and every time if you follow on Instagram, you see her doing all that kind of stuff. And so a bunch of people like that. I'm not going to share everybody, it's a little spoiler alert. Plus we have amazing sponsors of people that have really uplifted and supported not just the chiropractic profession, but the wellness profession, that are sharing their techniques, they're sharing their products, they're sharing their services. And everything that uplifts. So, rising tides lift all ships. Everybody together creates this, what we call this net effect, and it's pretty next level.
I love that. So for someone who's watching, who wants to be part of this, who wants to join in, what do they need to do? I mean, how do they get registered? How do they log in? How does it work?
Well, there's going to be a lot of stuff. There is an Instagram site, Biostacking Summit, at Biostacking Summit. You can find more information about it at drhowardcohn.com. I think you're going to provide a link for your unique audience and audiences for them to register. It's a free registration, like you said, it's going to run live 2 or 3 speakers a day for the third week in April. But a lot of people, I think it ends the 31st, but you can pre-purchase for just $47, and you can get VIP access. You get bonus things. You get we're raffling off. Each person's got a free giveaway, something to raffle off. Plus the extra 15-minute interview with everybody asking the stuff you've never heard them talk about. That's only for VIP access. So you can do that. It's going to go up April 1st. And then again, it's going to run after. We're looking at bonus speakers because the list is long of people once they saw how big and the whole mission of the summit. No one's ever done anything like this before. People know biohacking. Biohacking is like, hey, I want to do this one thing or these things so I can like try and cheat nature, so to speak. Maybe that's my bias on that. I like to build on these foundations and there's some intuitiveness. And I think what's unique is in the biostackers and the presenters, they've all traveled the world, learned certain techniques, therapies, and modalities, put them together to have their own unique brand of healing. So no 2 physicians or doctors are alike. So like when they see you, or they see Dr. Charlie, see Dr. Calvin, or they see Dr. Gangemi in North Carolina, or they see any of these people that are on this summit, it's a completely different experience. But the first group of doctors, and there'll be more bonus speakers and things like that, but these first group of doctors are the people that felt so comfortable with that. If it was my children, these are the people I would bring my children to, or somebody I cared about or loved, my spouse, my parents, all those different people in your life. These are the people that I've entrusted. Most of them have treated my whole family sometime throughout their life, and these are the places I bring my children to. So yeah,
the list you just gave, several of those people are people I've either been trained by, trained with, treated by, and I can definitely speak to their expertise. They're great people, they're solid people, and they're brilliant minds. So that's fantastic. And I will in the caption put the link to register for your summit so people can go. Again, it's free. It's an entire week long. Amazing speakers, well worth it. I love what you're doing, man. I know you've done a lot already. You've trained a lot of doctors. You've seen lots of patients and had an impact just within the 4 walls of your office. It's really cool to see how you're now influencing the world well beyond through this. Anytime I have a conversation with someone on here, I love to give you the last word, give you a chance to kind of share with the world. What do they need to hear from Dr. Cohn? What do you want to leave them with?
Well, those 4 walls are expanding too. So we're expanding Cohn Health Institute and taking the whole building now. So that's happening as we speak and as we're recording this. So by the time that summit rolls around, it'll be up and rolling. So we're excited about that. Lastly, last word is that, there are no incurable diseases, or only incurable people. If you want to get better, you can. You just need to plug in the right system, the right people at the right time. As they say, the definition of a miracle is the right thing done at the right time on the right person. And they happen every day, all the time. And there's no better feeling you'll ever have than someone else's life being made better because you have an influence on it. Dr. Casey, proud to do it every day. This podcast of yours does it every day. It turns on everyone's power, and much continued success with this and all that you're doing.
Dr. Cohn, I appreciate you, and I will see you in April at the summit, brother.
Looking forward to it.
All right.